several generations into the future. I cannot think of a more appropriate first project to celebrate, because the old rec center was, after 60 years of love, the building in this bond most in need of repair. And it's in a neighborhood, the densest in the city, which is most in need of a world-class facility to recreate, to congregate, and to communicate. When completed, this community treasure will provide today's youth and their families and future generations with a safe place to play. This community treasures this space, and it knew exactly what it wanted in a new facility. It will feature a new gym, multi-purpose rooms, a kitchen, new playgrounds and sports courts, and it will have improved landscaping, lighting, and ADA accessibility. Significantly, it will also be one of the greenest buildings in the city, with an array of sustainable construction elements, including natural lighting, energy-efficient heating and ventilation, water-efficient plumbing, and a solar roof. At $21 million, it's a big project, but I am incredibly pleased to report it is a project which is proceeding not just on budget, but under budget. I thought you might, Mr. Mayor. Before I turn it over to our great mayor, I want to make a few acknowledgments. We're going to have a few speakers today, but I want to acknowledge some other faces in the crowd, and if I miss anyone, I am sure the mayor will pick up after me. Obviously, we have Commission President Mark Buell, who's here, and who will be saying a few words. I think Commissioner David Lee will be joining us, if he hasn't already. Our treasured and beloved community leader, Gordon Chin, who will be saying a few words. The president of San Francisco's Unified School Board, Hydra Mendoza, is here. I saw Tan Chow, another treasured community leader. Where are you, Tan? He's here. I saw the great Reverend, and if I were ever to switch my religion, Norman, it would be to follow you. The great Norman Fong. Mohammed Nuru, the director of the Department of Public Works, is here and will be saying a few words. And I also really want to thank Fawad Suisse and Peter Wong and the entire DPW team for their incredible partnership. I want to recognize Susan Go. Where's Susan? Susan's in the back there, and she's significant because of her steadfast commitment to this facility, but Susan is also on this Chinese Rec Center's new Community Recreation Council, and will be helping to lead community stewardship and fundraising for this beloved facility. And next to Susan, and he needs no introduction, is our great recreation director, Jimmy Chin. And I also want to acknowledge Elaine Tom and Piercy Chu, who have been longtime steadfast retired leaders here. I think I saw Sue Lee in the crowd. Sue, are you here? Thank you, Sue. I want to thank Judson True, representing Supervisor David Chu, is here and will be saying a few words. I want to thank Plant Construction for their partnership in delivering this project. This is as on time as we get, and again, we are under budget, and we are very proud of the work that Plant Construction is doing. And lastly, and for me, I'm a little biased, most importantly, I really want to thank my own staff. My own capital team, Don Kamlanavan and Tosa Jike from the project management team. I want to thank our great rec staff who gives this building love and activity and programming. And a special shout out goes to Connie Chan, who helped put this event together. Thank you, Connie. All right, I've spoken enough, Mr. Mayor. Without further ado, I give us our captain, Mayor Ed Lee.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you. You know, Phil, it's been wonderful working with him because Rec and Park, working with DPW, working with Plant Construction, it's been a wonderful team. And I also want to acknowledge David Campos here from Human Rights Commission as well, because he works very hard on the workforce to make sure local hiring gets done on this job as well. So thank you, David, for being here. This project means so much to our city, to all of the residents, not just in Chinatown. You know, kids come from all over San Francisco to come here to the rec center, and I've seen that. The last time I was here, by the way, was with Supervisor David Chu and his staff, Victor Lim. Guess what we were doing? we had housed fire victims from Kearney Street right here in the rec center before we demolished it. We housed them because they had no other place to go in a disaster that hurt our community last year. And they were here for about a week. We fed them, we gave them nourishment, we gave them hope, and we worked together as a city to make sure that they got their housing back. That's what a community center does. It is a multi-purpose center. It will serve not only as one of the greatest recreation centers that we have, but just in case there is a disaster that occurs in the city. One of the reasons why Phil and Recreation Center and their financial team and everybody else worked so hard with DPW was to make sure we rebuilt a seismically safe center for our community. So that if and when, it's not just if, it is when the disaster happens, this will be up and it will be safe for seismic, and also safe for our communities. So when kids are playing here, or if there is a need to have emergency shelter, this Chinese rec center will be here for the community. That's the vision that we have, and that's why this project is so important. So I want to continue thanking all of the city agencies that are working together. Within the DPW family, just like Phil has pride for his association with all the different divisions, I kind of also have a special pride with DPW because our Bureau of Architecture helped design this place, our construction management, our new engineers, young and old, working very closely with plant construction to build this right and make sure it's built on time and within budget. That's what I love to hear, because that's what we brought in terms of the whole discipline to the 10-year capital infrastructure plan. But I also know the significance of this center. And I know Sue Lee will know that as well, because she's the head of the Chinese Historical Society. She's documenting this for future generations of residents and immigrants who come here and visitors who come here to know how significant the center is. That's also why I'm here today, because we're going to have a time capsule in a few moments. We get to put a little baseball, a little memorabilia that hopefully within 100 years, people will read what we've done today. And I'm going to do a little special thing about our Giants team when I get here the chance to cheer them on as well. There's also a sense of what this center means by something that we want to announce today. Something that has been very dear to Rec and Park Commission, to me, to the people who worked in this city for many years, like Gordon Chin and Norman Fong and others. And that is, we'd like to announce today that we would be processing to the Rec and Park Commission to formally name this center as the Betty Ong Chinese Rec Center in San Francisco. And we have the very privilege of having the Ong family here today. As you know, Betty Ong grew up in Chinatown, and because of her intelligence and beauty, she became an airline stewardess. Airline attendant. But she was, of course, on the fateful airline, American Airlines, in 9/11. And she did one of the most heroic things. She called the ground base and informed them about what was occurring. Earlier this year, I had the privilege of inviting her mother to City Hall to give her a gift of acknowledgement on Mother's Day as one of the best mothers in our country. And I want to meet her son and daughter's family here today in recognition of this honor. And I want to announce today that this significance of the name will be for not only the Ong family, because I know Harry keeps in mind it's not just about Betty. It's also about what we can teach the generations of kids that come and ask the question, who was Betty Ong? What did she do? And to know that in our own community, we have heroes, people who have committed their lives to improvement of our society. Betty Ong saved lives in what she did. And we need generations of kids who are going to use the center to know that, to know within our culture that there was an individual who belonged to a very great family who belong to a very great community, belong to San Francisco. So we have our own local heroes, and I want to acknowledge that, and I personally asked that this take place, and we've been blessed with the commission that's sensitive to this history, and we'll take that up in the next few weeks to confirm the Betty Ong Chinese Rec Center in San Francisco. So I want to thank you for everybody's participation in that. So with that, this building is 51% done. It is on time within budget. It is going to be a fantastic recreation community center. I want to also add my thanks to the community council, because they'll be raising additional monies, because we have programs to run. We have kids that need to be taken care of. They're going to love the programming here. And I can't wait. I can't wait for when this is open, when we do the plaque and the announcement, to play a little game of ping pong with these kids that will be waiting, because they're going to beat the crap out of me. Sorry. Beat everything out of me. So thank you, Phil, for your leadership on this. And again, DPW, Rec and Park, Plant Construction, thank you very much for being here today. Let's go forward.
We're going to have a few other speakers before we actually top off the construction. As a general manager, we're all park users are really blessed to have the Recreation and Park Commission that we have. It is a commission of citizens that truly gets it, that understands the need to invest in our parks and in our facilities and to renew them so that future generations can hug them and love them just as much as old generations have done. And a commission that understands why we're doing it, and it's for these kids here. And I'd like to really bring up the president and the leader of our Rec and Park Commission, the fabulous Mark Buell.
Thank you, thank you. First, let me say I want to thank the mayor. I think Ed Lee is doing a tremendous job and very supportive of really the basic needs of San Franciscans, and I'm pleased to serve on the commission under his leadership. And I want to assure the mayor that the commission will do everything expeditiously to follow this request. We honor that, and we believe it's most appropriate. You know, I also want to mention, even though Phil introduced him as a community leader, that Gordon Chin's also a former Rec and Park Commissioner, and very much appreciate the many things he's done for the community. You know, there's an old expression, victory has many parents and defeat is an orphan. And the victory here belongs to many parents, the architects, the engineers, the city, the mayor, Phil Ginsburg, and the fabulous staff. It also belongs to all of you in the community, but I also want to add that it was the enlightened voters of San Francisco who passed the bond issue that made this possible, and it's my understanding that this may well be the largest single investment in a recreation center in San Francisco, a tribute to the community and everybody that's here today. With that, I'm looking forward to that groundbreaking ceremony too, and I'll get the same thing beaten out of me in ping pong, Mr. Mayor. I want to thank you all and congratulate you all on a great day. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Mark. Commissioner Buell noted that success has many parents. I'd like to bring up one of our parents, Mohammed Nuru, the Director of the Department of Public Works, to say a few words.
Thank you. On behalf of the Department of Public Works, we are very proud to join Mayor Lee, Mark Buell, Phil Ginsburg, and the community in celebrating this 50% plus completion of this building. We are, as what Phil said, in the and then all the rest of the windows and all the rest of the building parts will be put in place. Chinatown, as many of you know, is one of the most dense populated neighborhoods in the country, and there's a huge need not only for indoor or outdoor recreation, but also to be used for community events. And as you heard the mayor, you know, if we have an emergency or something, the facility is being built to be able to house such an event. This project does serve as an example of all of us working together. That is, you know, our partners, Rec and Park, other city agencies, the community, the contractors, everybody, all of us coming together to make something happen for San Francisco. And there are many, many more. As we do these types of projects, we continue to get better. And as you've heard, the price of the project has actually come down, and it's by all of us doing our due diligence for the project. Today, the building is also designed to be a LEED Silver facility. That is a facility that receives accreditation for meeting certain points for the design part. I would like to join in thanking many of the people who are here today. First of all, I would like to thank the Gordon Lau Elementary School kids for being here. I mean, they're the teachers for tomorrow. The Chinese Community Development Center, they're here. We'll hear from Gordon, who has recently retired from that program. Not yet? Okay, almost. You know, our contractors, led by Eugene Horn, they've been doing a marvelous job. I was able to come out here a few weeks ago. The architects for the building, Michael Perio, Stanley So, and Peter Wong. The Rec and Park Department, led by our Commissioner Mark Brewer and the rest of the staff, Don, and many of the people who I've worked with, Tokes, I saw Tokes. He's here every day, making sure that that our project is coming along. Mary Hobson, where's Mary Hobson? Is Mary Hobson here? She's also here to join us. Of course, it will be remiss of me not to thank my former boss at Riskin, who's over at MTA. Oh, the cable car, okay. Anyway, Ed, and of course all the staff from DPW, led by Fuad Sears, who's our city engineer, and also Gary Hoy, who's our city architect, Joe Chung, Albert Poe, Dave Wang, and the entire project team from DPW. All of us are working hard to make sure that we do bring this project to completion in spring, as you heard from Phil. And I'll take this opportunity to thank everyone for this important milestone. And let's celebrate.
All right, thank you, Mo. So a couple of other quick thank yous. We want to thank Captain Steve Bikini, Chief Craig Sir, and the San Francisco Police Department for their support and for keeping this rec center and this community safe. And as the mayor noted, we want to thank Muni for keeping it quiet. So in about 2 months, Gordon, you're going to have another former after your name when you retire as executive director of CCDC. And you know, we talked about partnership and success having many parents. This is a partnership between city agencies and this community. And representing this community, Gordon, we'd love to have you come up and say a few words. And please let me introduce you as former Rec and Park Commissioner, Gordon Shin.
Thank you, Phil. It's really my honor to be here today with some of my heroes, Mayor Ed Lee, the Ong family. Percy Chu has been around a lot longer than even me, but these are some of the people who have made this project possible. And Ed was a great basketball player, but I think both Ed and I are going to stick with ping pong instead of basketball now. We're just delighted that Chinatown is really experiencing what I call a renaissance. Just a couple months ago, we have a new YMCA. About 3 months ago, the new St. Mary's School opened its doors. Our new City College is under construction. And the Central Subway is under construction. So you have a number of major public-private partnerships that we are extremely proud of. And we are extremely proud to work with the city on this project. One thing that hasn't changed, as Mark knows, since I was on the commission, is that Park Rec and DPW have this wonderful partnership, and it's towed through on so many wonderful projects all over the city. To come in under budget and on time is just not only a standard, but just a wonderful indication of your competence. And I say that to all the Park Rec staff and DPW staff. We did some of the community planning on this project, and that the participatory design process is very, very important. I want to acknowledge some of our folks who led that effort. Cindy Wu, our planning manager, Tan Chow, Wai Ching Kwan, and of course, our incoming Executive Director, Reverend Norman Fong. So how about a hand for my folks? And I do want to acknowledge another one of our great community leaders. The Chinatown Committee for Better Parks and Rec in Chinatown was really involved in the very early days to look at the future of the Chinese Rec Center. So their leadership was instrumental in making this project a reality. So with no further ado, I don't know if the time capsule thing is coming up. Am I jumping ahead here to share? Okay. Okay. So I'll just share my guess. This does have a lot to do with Chinatown CDC, but this does not mean that the Giants got to wait another 100 years before they win, right? So this is my contribution to the time capsule. Thank you.
All right, I'd now like to bring up Judson True. Supervisor David True couldn't be here today, but he's been instrumental in making this project happen and supporting the Recreation and Park Department. So Judson.
Thanks, Phil. I'll be very brief. The sun will inspire me to be very, very brief. But again, my name is Judson True. I'm an aide to Board of Supervisors President David Chu, and welcome everyone to District 3. And it's really an honor to be here on behalf of David. I was here with him last year for the groundbreaking. I think many of us were here then. And it really is wonderful to see this new building going up right in the heart of this community, and to have a piece of the future of Chinatown in this community right next to some of the living history that the cable cars represent, I think is also tremendously special. And it's just, I think the General Manager Ginsburg and Mayor Lee and Gordon and Commission President Buell really thanked everyone, so I'm just going to echo that. I do also want to acknowledge the Mayor's tremendous moving comments about the Betty Ong and the dedication. That was very moving and fitting. And lastly, I just want to mention I do have a little medal somewhere for my intramural championship in ping pong. So I can't wait. I can't wait for the ping pong. Basketball, I don't think there's any more after 2 knee surgeries. But congratulations to everyone on this wonderful day.
All right. Okay, we're about to start, but what I wanted to do, and I wanted to make sure we, again, had an opportunity to know and understand. And, you know, Hydra Mendoza, who's the president of our Board of Education, keeps reminding me, we always want to teach our kids what they're all about and what the community's all about. So I would like to ask if Harry Ong can come up and say a few words on behalf of the Ong family, and to note their support for this renaming and what it means to them. Come on up, Harry.
I'll try to keep this short. Thank you, Honorable Mayor of this wonderful city and county of San Francisco, Mr. Edwin M. Supervisors and the city of San Francisco, members of the Park and Rec Center Commission, the DPW, Reverend Norman Fong, who I'm not sure is still here, but prayers do work, and they are answered. Mr. Gordon Chin, I wish I was in your position. I envy your retirement. Press and news members, and last but not least, our friends, neighbors, and citizens of this great city of San Francisco and honored guests. My name is Harry Ong Jr., and I am the brother of Betty Ann Ong. My family and I want to take this opportunity to thank Mayor Ed Lee in pursuing the name of the Chinese Recreation Center of San Francisco, as well as the Park and Rec Center, as the Betty Ann Ong Recreation Center of San Francisco. As you can see, the Recreation Center is under construction and is slated to be finished, I think perhaps in 2012. It is an honor and privilege for our family to have something named for Betty. Not only will the Recreation Center serve as a remembrance of Betty's legacy, but it will also serve as a reminder of the tragic day in which almost 3,000 people died on September 11, 2001, a day that terrorists attacked America on American soil. My sister Betty and I and our family grew up in this wonderful city of San Francisco with great humbleness. We were raised by our wonderful parents as a close family and to always love and protect each other. We lived on Broadway Street, right on between Stockton and Powell, during our formative years. Betty attended Gene Parker Elementary, Francisco Middle School, George Washington High School, and City College of San Francisco. Outside of our house, Chinatown and the streets of San Francisco was our home, our playground, our library, our entertainment, and our place to meet our dear friends and just to hang out. There were no trips to Disneyland. We grew up in Chinatown and learned what street life was all about. The Chinese Recreation Center was our playground as well. We as children played hopscotch, four-square ball, dodgeball. I wish I could still play it like that, but basketball, volleyball, and roller skate. Betty excelled in these sports and developed her sports both at school and here at the rec center. Betty and my sister played at the rec center very often together. Matter of fact, just yesterday, Gloria told me a story about Betty and her always playing on the swings at the rec center to see who could fly the highest. Then they would spend time together kicking the sand and digging in the sand around the swings to look for loose coins. My sister Betty Ong worked as a flight attendant with American Airlines, and her plane was the first of 4 hijacked planes on that fateful day of September 11th, in which her plane crashed into the North World Trade Center in New York City. Betty was declared a national hero by the 9/11 Commission for her brave and courageous acts on her plane. On that tragic day, etched in our memories, Betty was the first person to notify that our nation was under attack. Despite the terror, the mace, the stabbings of 2 flight attendants, the death of a passenger, and the fact that they could not breathe, Betty calmly, bravely, and professionally called into reservations office in which she relayed vital information about the hijacking and the hijackers. This information that Betty gave eventually led to the first shutdown of all aviation in the history of the United States. Once again, my family and I wish to thank Mayor Ed Lee, the many dignitaries who are here, and the people of this great city and county of San Francisco for their dedicating their time and effort in renaming the Chinese Recreation Center of San Francisco to the Betty Ann Ong Recreation Center, San Francisco. If you listen to the tape of Betty Ann Ong, during a very eerie, silent moment of Betty's emergency call, Betty quietly asked, is anybody still there? Yes, Betty, we are still here. We are answering your call with our attempt to dedicate the renaming of this recreation center in your honor and for all the heroes of 9/11. Thank you.
With that, Reverend Fong, please come on up, and I'm going to surprise you with a request that you give a blessing before we do this top off.
Okay. All right, kids. Blessing means we want heaven to bless a little bit of earth right here. So today, repeat after me. Okay, kids, all of you. May joy, peace, and happiness fill the new Betty Ong Chinese Recreation Center.
Betty Ong Chinese Recreation Center.
And in church we say amen, which means right on. Okay, so everyone say amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, if everybody can stand back, we're going to give the appropriate signal for our crane to lift up the final beam to the Betty Ong Chinese Rec Center.
Capsule, and the significance of the time capsule is that it links the past with the present to the future. This is a bridge about the history of Chinese Rec Center, and it's a link to the future. And this will be, I guess, planted for 100 years, where folks are going to dig it up and discover what's in it. And I'm going to turn it over to the mayor in a second. But we have, Rec and Park has a few things in there, one of which I want to grab here is a newsletter from the Recreation and Park Department from November 2nd, 1951, when this facility opened almost 60 years ago. And so that is going to go in the time capsule. And the other thing that is going to go in there, which I am personally very proud about, is a note from me, which I wrote in Chinese, Mr. Mayor, and it actually took me quite a long time last night with Connie's help to do that. And we have a slogan at Rec and Park, which is "Get out and play." So "Get out and play" is written at top, I hope. And the second sentence is "Healthy body, healthy heart," which is also very important to the Recreation and Park Department, and that's my name. So I am putting that one in there with a few other goodies. Mark, you have something you're going to drop as well, and then we're going to turn it over to the mayor.
Well, I'm just going to put my card from Recreation and Park that says congratulations on the Betty Ong Recreation Center.
All right.
And we like our logos at Rec and Park, so we're putting a few of those in there too. And Mr. Mayor.
And I get to put the official baseball of San Francisco with my name on it in Chinese and English, and of course, I'm going to say, "Go Giants!"
Yay! Let's all do that. 1, 2, 3. Go Giants!